Welcome to Cheers. I'm your host, Avery Woods. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Cheers podcast. I'm your host, Avery Woods, and I'm coming at you in my jammies because it's not super late at night, but I did just put my kids down, and I was like, you know what? I am not staying in nice clothes. I'm putting my jammies on, and I thought we'd do a fun little LA recap. We just got back from LA. Gosh, was it last night? Last night. Wow, that okay, feels like eternity ago. We were there the whole week. We actually went out because I got invited to a rare beauty event and I got to take some fun content with Selena. She was so sweet. And then we ended up extending the stay to interview some really fun people in LA because obviously LA is a home base for a lot of people in this industry and I have a lot of friends out there. And so when I go out there, I try to just do as many things as I can. That way we can kind of pre-record and then I don't have to leave my family as much. So I want to go back to the Rare Beauty event because I feel like I need to talk about my experience with Selena Gomez. Obviously, Rare is a brand that I've used since the beginning. I have used their setting spray since literally they launched, and just their blushes, their brow gel, now their pressed powder. That's what we were there celebrating the launch of, are just things in my everyday makeup routine. I just love the message behind Rare. I love the humanitarian side, how much they donate, just their packaging in general. Selena was talking about how she has arthritis in her hand, so it's really hard for her to twist caps on and off, which is why they have that big circle at the top of their products. I just think it's really thoughtful. And like their press powder they celebrated, she was talking about how the magnet isn't too strong. So if you have weak hands, you can pop it open easily. Obviously, I resonate with that coming from PICU and giving back to people with disabilities and medically fragile children. So I just love that part of the brand. And they launch this pressed powder. And so usually when brands launch new products, they'll do a launch party and invite influencers or people that use the products to share about it and share what they like about it. So I was lucky enough to be invited. And then because we stayed for the podcast, Scotty came with me. He couldn't come to the launch event with Selena, but he came to the dinner after with all the influencers. So it was super fun. But yeah, it was so interesting because we all walked in and gathered and we're all mingling, we're influencers, so it's like we follow each other, we finally get to meet in real life or I have a lot of influencer friends that live everywhere and when we get together for like influencer events in different parts of the world, it's just fun to see them, like seeing your long distance bestie. So we're all talking and doing all these things, and then we sit down, and all of a sudden we hear, "Oh my gosh, it's so quiet in here!" And walks Selena Gomez, like the angel that she is, and we're all just completely silent, like, "Holy shit, that's fucking Selena Gomez!" And she sat down with Rare's. Oh gosh, I think the title is Global Brand, not ambassador, but she helps develop the products and the shades, and she's just very educated on makeup in general, as well as the brand Rare Beauty. So she sat down with Selena in front of us, and there was probably only like 20 of us there, which was really cool because it was very intimate. I feel like a lot of these brand events just get overly crowded. There's too much going on. You can't focus. You're trying to like ping pong your attention on everyone. And this was really intimate and quaint, which again, I'm obviously so honored to be there, not just with the brand, but with Selena in general. But the fact that I was there in such a like small, with such a small audience, like not a lot of us were invited. And so it was just, again, honored to be there. So we sat down, we learned about the product, the pressed powder, which is iconic. I usually don't talk about makeup and beauty on here, but it has replaced my everyday Charlotte Tilbury flawless, fuck, what's it called? Airbrush flawless finish. My edible just kicked in. Shit, Scott. We can leave that in there. Usually I'll cut stuff like that out. Yeah, guys, we'll get back to this subject about edibles in a second because I'll tell you why I take them, but lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, Selena. So we learned about the product, which is amazing. It's my new everyday powder. And then the Rare team, when I walked in, were like, "Oh my God, Avery Woods, like we're obsessed with you." And I said, "What? I'm obsessed with you? Are you kidding me? How the fuck do you even know who I am?" And so we sit down, and Selena's like, "Okay, I'll meet you guys in the back room." And what I loved about her was she was so humble and like gave so many of us credit because she was talking about how she's like, I'm not the best at makeup, but I'm good at making good makeup products. But that's why you guys are here because you're the experts and I value your opinion so much. And so my favorite part about this job with Rare is that every event I get to meet you guys individually and like learn about you and make content with you. And that's my favorite part. And I was like, holy shit, like so much respect for her. And the Rare team also told me that when they did their one of their launches, I think it was their lip oil launch in New York City, there was like over 150 people there. And Selena was like adamant, like, no, I will meet every single one of them. And the Rare team's like, are you sure? I don't think we have enough time. And she's like, no, every single one. So I just really respect that about her, that she appreciates not just her audience, but the consumers that spread word to other consumers about her product. That's just a boss ass businesswoman. And also in this industry, you do hear a lot of horror stories about other influencers and celebrities. And I've never heard a bad word about her. She has such a great reputation. She takes care of her people like no other. And so I just really respect her. So we're sitting down on the couch and she's like, okay, I'll see you guys in there. And she went into a separate room in the suite and she had her security outside. And Rare's like, okay, Avery, like, you're going first. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? They're like, yeah, you're gonna go talk to Selena first. And I was like, what the fuck? Because I thought it'd be like, oh, like some of my friends will go and they'll like kind of tell me like what the 411 is. Like, how do I act? Like, what do I say? What am I gonna do? No, I go first. And I'm like, fuck, all right. So I go in and she's like, oh my God, hi, I love your dress. And I was like, I can't make eye contact with you. What the fuck? And I was like, it's such an honor to meet you. I said, my two oldest daughters are absolutely obsessed with you. They've grown up watching Wizards of Waverly Place. And now that they're teenagers, we every single night watch Only Murders in the Building. And they're literally counting down the days till the next season comes out. And she's like, wait, how old are they? And I was like, 12 and 14. And she was like, oh, that's my favorite age. Like, tell them I said hi. And I was like, I will. They're going to freak out. And then we had to send in content that Rare had to pre-approve, like for us to film. And obviously, we're including the pressed powder because that's why we're there. And so I did a funny sound from Only Murders in the Building that I thought was really funny because it was about TikTok and also just a tribute to my girls because I knew they would love that while we used the powder. And then she's like, what lighting do you want? Do you want natural light? We have selfie lights. And I was like, Queen, I'll do whatever you want. And then I brought my digital camera and I was like, are you okay if we take a photo too? She's like, oh my God, of course. And I was like, should we have someone take it or do a selfie? And she's like, well, let's do both. And I said, slay Selena, I love you. So, and then her team was in there, like, I think it was her assistant. I don't know who was in there with her. But she's like, where'd you get your dress? And I was like, House of CB. Like, I know it'll fit in a pinch. And then I was like, okay, bye, Selena. So good to meet you. It was fucking crazy. And we took the cutest picture, took the coolest video, and yeah, it was just really awesome. And then I did see today that she liked all my posts on Instagram, and I about shat myself. Maybe I did. Maybe I squirted a little bit in my rear end, but I opened my phone and I said, Selena Gomez liked my reel. Selena Gomez liked my photo dump. What the fuck is going on? So we actually are best friends. I got her phone number and we're getting drinks next week. Super fun. Anyways, okay, before we get back to what we're talking about in LA, I feel like I should talk about why I take edibles because I can hardly keep my eyes open. So here's the thing. I had no experience at all when it comes to weed. Really, I did not. I maybe like smoked twice in high school, like not a lot, because every time I did, I would just fall asleep. And I'm not a huge drinker. Like I like my wine maybe once, twice a week, or like if we're traveling or something, but I'm not like, I don't know, I'm just not an avid drinker. I just never really have been. And since having, I didn't start taking, because first of all, I can't stand smoking. Like it hurts my lungs so bad. And it wasn't until Stevie was like, well, I had been done breastfeeding. So I would say she was like 15 or 18 months. And I started developing the worst insomnia. Like I literally could not sleep. And my issue was that not only would it take forever for me to like doze off, I would just lay there for hours, it felt like, but then staying asleep was really hard for me and I would wake up to pee multiple times a night, which is horrible. And my mom, my good old stoner mom, was like, I think you should try to take like a bite of an edible. And I was like, oh my God, I can't. Like, it's gonna make me paranoid. I was so scared. And she's like, no, do it. And she gave me the one with CBD in it to help me sleep. And sure as shit, I slept like a fucking rock. I literally passed out. And so that's why I take them. I'm not one of those people that can operate in public or around people in a social setting on an edible. I will actually just sink into the couch and fall asleep. That's how much it affects me. Even like half. I can't even take a full one. Um, but once I put the kids down, I took one because that's like my routine. And then Scott goes, I'm here, like let me know when you're ready to record. And I said, "Oh no. Oh no." So here we are. Anyways, back to LA. So we stayed with Deb the first couple days, which you guys have heard about Deb a million times. She is in Calabasas. So anytime we go to LA, I usually stay with her. And Spotify Studios is so kind and always lets us record um in their downtown, it's like in the arts district, their recording studio. And it's so nice because we don't have to pack all of our equipment to where we're going, and they'll send Scott all the files. So they're just like the kindest people, super nice, so grateful for them. So we did Nurse John, which was so fucking fun. He is such an icon. If you guys are in the nursing, I mean, even if you're not in the nursing world, his audience is massive because he just has such a broad audience when it comes to his humor. He is a fellow nurse. He's from Canada, but he just moved to LA, and he has a tour, like a stand-up comedy tour. That's how big he is. I think he has like maybe 8 million followers on TikTok and like 3 million or something on Instagram. But he got huge during the pandemic working as a nurse, doing these bits about nursing and like funny stories and stuff that people relate to. And he just got so massive because he just brings such a light to the nursing world and the medical field. So we did him, and it was so cool to get to know him on a deeper level. And he was on the podcast. That episode will be coming out soon. And then we did Manny MUA right after him on the same day, which, oh my God, like my OG YouTubers get it, but I've was basically raised on YouTube. That's how I learned to do makeup and was in hair and fashion and all these things. And Manny was just so cool, so down to earth, so fucking funny. He, I don't know, like he is so unique from a lot of people in this world because a lot of people get really nasty and just don't have a good attitude. And he was just so cool. So cool. And I love his honesty. So I got to learn more about him and how he grew up in his YouTube career, and just me talking to him about how he taught me how to do so much makeup throughout my life, which is really cool. And then the next day we had the queen herself, Jaclyn Hill, which was so just full circle moment for me. It's so funny because she just moved from Florida to LA. And so I knew when we went to LA because she had started following me a couple months ago, I think in like February. And we got to talking and DMing. And then somehow we got each other's numbers and started sending voice memos and like really became friends before ever meeting. And she is just such a great person to go to when it comes to the struggle with haters on social media. She has been through the fucking ringer, and a lot of people don't know like really anything behind the scenes. And it breaks my heart that she has gotten so much hate because she has never once come on defending herself in the way of like throwing anyone else under the bus. She just kind of took the heat for a lot of things and stayed silent, but kept going, persevering, and launched so many successful businesses and had so many iconic collabs in the beauty world. So I just really respect her. And when she can see I'm going through hate or I'm going through hate and I reach out to her, she sends voice memos that sometimes are so brutally honest, but I need to hear it. And that's what I respect about her. She's not like patting me on the back, like, it's okay, it'll pass. She'll be like, yeah. And as you keep growing, it's going to get even fucking worse. And I mean that because I know you're going to be more successful because I believe in you, know you have it in you, but also with that comes a lot of hate, and it doesn't get easier. And sometimes that stings and hurts to hear, but sometimes it's necessary because I'm not naive to this world. So I reached out to her and she was like, "Oh my God, I would love to be on the podcast." And I was like, "Holy shit." So she just moved to the most insane house in LA. It is so fucking gorgeous. So appreciative. She invited us into her home, invited us over, and we recorded the podcast episode. She was there, her husband Jordan was there. Jacqueline's been sober. She's about to hit her 1 year, but she had my favorite wine waiting for me and a charcuterie board and caviar. I mean, just so iconic, the host of the century. Her husband was so sweet and so warm and welcoming. And again, I literally was looking at her house and I was like, bitch, you fucking did it. Like, good for you. And again, I respect her so much, as a businesswoman. So I learned so much from her. And we recorded her podcast episode, which took like an hour, and then we ended up staying for 9 hours total. Like, we finished recording, we were talking about a lot of business things, about management, and because she is so big in the YouTube world, but she's newer when it comes to like TikTok content creation. And so it was so cool because she's like, you say you look up to me, but I look up to you because this is like a whole new world of social media. And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? So I really appreciated her because she was so open and vulnerable on the podcast. There was a lot of things that I know, she had been advised not to talk about, and she chose to talk about it anyways. And I just really respected that. And I hope when you guys listen to it, you hear a different side of Jacqueline because I know I did. And I learned so much about her in that moment. So we kind of learn it together, which is really cool. Um, and yeah, we ended up staying for 9 hours. We finished recording. We're chatting for hours. And then she's like, are you guys hungry? Do you like sushi? And we're like, absolutely. And she ordered sushi to be delivered. And it was like the best sushi Scott and I have ever had. We fucking inhaled it. It was so good. And then we recorded some TikToks and then we left because I got to see her the next day at Rare. And it was so fun. And it was just crazy when she walks in and she's like, hi, so happy you're here. Because like she was anxious about being there and I was anxious about being there. So it was just cool because I'm like, holy shit, Jacqueline Hill is my friend. Like, that's fucking nuts. Okay, so after the like daytime Rare Beauty powder launch, that's where we met Selena and took our content with her. Vidya was there, who is one of my favorite people ever. I was so sad we didn't have time to get her on the pod. So I'm like hoping next time we cross paths, we can bring our equipment and get her on because her and her husband are some of Dave and I's favorite people ever. When we were in Bora Bora with Tart, we hung out with them so much and they're even cooler in person. Like, if you think they're cool online and cool parents, they are even doper in real life. Rakesh is like the life of the party, which I did not expect. He's like, you guys can't go to bed. Like, you're 10 years younger than us. You have to stay out. I just fucking love them. They're such icons. And so when Vidya texted me that she's going to Rare, I was so excited because we got to hang. And she was like, after this, do you want to go to Rodeo to shop? And I was like, absolutely. Because we had a dinner that night with Rare, but we had like a 5 hour gap. So we went to Rodeo. Vidya did some shopping. Actually, I don't think she bought anything, but Scott and I left early because she was in Hermes for a while, but she left empty handed. So we just got a coffee and then we went back. So I was like, I need like a second of no socialization. At these events, because you guys know I've struggled with social anxiety, especially recently, so bad. And at these events, it's like you have to keep your face on, like your game face of like, people are watching and taking photos and videos and watching your every move. And like a lot of people are looking at you that they recognize you or, you're like mutual followers. So it's like just a lot of socialness. And so I was like, I just need a second to like veg and do nothing. So I went back to the hotel. Scotty was there. I literally just laid in bed in my robe for like an hour. Probably watched actually, I think I did watch Love Island. I can't remember, but and then I touched up my makeup and got dressed for dinner. We went to Olivietta, I think it's called. Olivietta. I don't know. Some Italian restaurant. And we got down to okay, let me tell you, guys. I know I was like, I don't drink a lot. I got fucking sloshed this night. And thank God it did not hit me until I was back in the hotel room. Like, I kept my composure at dinner. And don't worry, Selena was not there. But I I really am like not a big like it's rare for me to drink enough to like get this drunk. Like, I told Scott this is probably the drunkest I've ever been in my life, which is crazy because I think it just hit me all of a sudden. I didn't eat a lot that day because we had the Rare powder launch and I ate nothing because I was so nervous the whole time. And for breakfast that morning I had like 2 sips of iced coffee and 1 bite of yogurt with granola. And then we went back to the hotel room. Oh, we went shopping and all I had was a matcha. I literally had a matcha from Alfred, which fuck, this shit's so good. I want it right now. Because I got vanilla cold foam on top. Oh, do that on your matcha. It'll change your life. But then we got ready for dinner and went down, and everyone from the rare team was like at the bar waiting for our shuttle to take us to dinner. And like, you want a drink? And I was like, yeah, can I get a porn star martini, which is like my weakness. And as soon as it was served to Scott and I, we got our drinks. They're like, okay, the shuttle's here. We're gonna go. And I was like, well, fuck, I can't waste it. My dumbass chugs it. I literally fucking chugged it, threw it back, nothing in my stomach. I was fine. We get to dinner, and like at these fancy places, they serve these like family style dishes where you like get one bite of each thing. So I maybe ate like 4 bites of food, but they had served us champagne when we got there. And one thing about me is I can't drink champagne with any other alcohol, or that's it for me. And the way I just like that thought never crossed my mind a single time that whole night. I don't know why I forgot all of a sudden, but I chugged the porn star martini at the bar, and then I drink the champagne, and then he gave me another porn star martini, and then I got another porn star martini, and then they gave me another porn star martini because after we left our 3-bite course meal, the rare teams at the bar, and they're like, Avery, come here, order me a fucking another porn star martini. And I'm like, well, shit. And then they're like, oh my gosh, we want you to have your daughters at the Rare Beauty headquarters and like pick out whatever makeup they want. And I'm like, oh my God, first of all, my teens would absolutely lose it, but Stevie loves makeup. So I was like so excited. And then we're talking about all these things. And then we went back, which, do I remember that car ride? Yeah. We got into a black Uber or something. But we go back with everyone, and I'll give it to Vidya. She can hold her liquor because she drank as much as I did, and she had to be up at fucking 3 in the morning to catch her flight. And that bitch was up and ready, even though poor thing, her flight was canceled because all of the like electric down shit. What am I trying to say? All the servers that went down, whatever. All the flights were canceled, so poor thing was up for no reason. But I gave it to her. She's got some tolerance. Um, I don't. Nope. So we got back to the hotel. Did I walk fine? Like, was I good in the lobby? Oh. Oh, okay. So we get back to oh yeah, because we dropped Vidya off first. She was fine. I was like, love you, like, see you next trip, whatever. And then the doors close and I stumble back into the corner of the elevator, right? I think that's what happened. And I think yeah, I hit my head so hard. And I think the first thing I said was, thank God no one else is in this elevator right now. And then thank God we were on the 8th floor, the door's open, no one's there, and our room is the first one out of the elevator. So we just went right in there. It's just shooped right in before anyone else could see me. And Scott said I like started packing or something, but here's where it went wrong. So I was having a great time. I was feeling great. I was dancing. I did slip on my suitcase and fall on my ass, and I have a fucking massive bruise. But I was like, we should probably go to bed because we do fly back tomorrow. So I'm going to take a full edible so I can pass out. What the fuck? No. What? The way I thought I was the Hulk. So I take the full edible. I shower, do all my skincare, and I start packing up shit. And then I thought, something's not right. Yeah, something's not right here. And we had, first of all, because we had 3 bites of food at dinner, as soon as we got back to the hotel room, we ordered room service. I got some chicken fingers, some french fries. If I would have been able to fucking eat that, I would have been fine. Like 2 hours go by and our fucking food isn't there. And we call and they go, oh, we're so sorry, our kitchen closed and I don't think your order was placed. Are you shitting my dick right now? This hotel room is like $7,000 a night and you forgot my fucking chicken fingers and french fries with extra ranch and extra barbecue and Dr. Pepper? Fuck. So anyways, we didn't eat and therefore I puked. It was, ugh. Trigger warning for those that have that issue, but yeah, it wasn't good. Thank God in the morning I felt fine because I just got all of it out of my system. Uh, Scotty fed me a croissant in bed, a chocolate croissant when I woke up, and then I slept till 10. We woke up, packed our room, headed to Erewhon one last time because if you know me, you know I'll fucking pay $25 for that Hailey Bieber smoothie any day. I don't care if there's 80 grams of sugar. Eat my ass, okay? And the crispy rice with salmon with the avocado on top with the fucking eel sauce. Oh my God. Literally, oh my God, so fucking good. So, yeah, we had that, and then we had to drop our Turo off, which is annoying as shit. And we had to take a shuttle to LAX, which again is annoying as shit. And thank God our flight was not canceled. Oh my God. We were at the airport really early, but LAX is a fucking madhouse, bro. It was literally so busy. But I was so grateful that we got our flight because we have friends right now that have been waiting like 2 days now for their flight, and they have two little kids, and they're like hotel hopping, and it's a nightmare. So thank God for that. And then got home. That's about it. Oh my God. One of my favorite parts about LA, we went to fucking Mochi Nut, which they renamed apparently. I don't know what the name is, but which, God damn, those Korean corn dogs sound so good right now. You guys, if you never heard of a Korean corn dog, it's basically mozzarella cheese deep fried, and they fucking crumble hot Cheetos on it or chunks of potato and sugar. Oh my God. It is the best thing. Those are like those ASMR mukbangs that like you pull it and the string like goes on forever. I am telling you that hot Cheeto one was one of the best things I've ever eaten in my entire life. It was fucking incredible. It really was. And they had mochi donuts, which again, one of the best things I've ever eaten in my entire life. It was so good. And now because my edible kicked in, I have the munchies. That's what I want. But we got Krispy Kreme, so I think I'm gonna eat some of those. Oh, I forgot to add one thing about LA. This was actually part of the reason we were gonna take this trip, but you know how I got that New York City billboard in Times Square? It's pretty sick, right? That's pretty sick. So the month after that, my face was down Sunset Boulevard on those fucking banners for Kosas. So iconic, especially because my mom was born and raised in Burbank. And that's like just such an iconic moment. And so they were supposed to be there for another week. And I got the unfortunate news that they were taken down the morning our flight landed. So I couldn't see them in person. So that broke my heart. But I sent Deborah down the weekend before to take photos on Sunset Boulevard for me. So thank you, Deb, for doing that because I didn't take those actual photos. I didn't see it in real life. And I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this because this is going live in 2 days, but I got invited on literally the coolest trip I've ever been invited on in my entire life. It was so last minute, and we leave on Saturday, me and one other person, aka Margot. If you know, you know. And we leave Saturday out of the country for one of the biggest sports events that happens every 4 years. Was that a good enough hint? Okay. Um, Yeah, I it's literally crazy. One of our favorite brands invited us, only us. They're like, "We only have 2 tickets. You're our first choice. Can you go?" And we were like, "Holy fuck, let me check my calendar." It's just one of those things like you can't say no to. You just can't pass that up. And I'm just so honored. So it's a really quick turnaround. It's like a 72-hour trip and it's in Paris. So hoping I can sleep on those flights. But just such a cool opportunity and moment. And I'm so stoked for it because I'm obsessed with the Olympics. And we get to see two of like the most popular events. So it was so cool. I'm like, I would have sat there so happy watching table tennis, not giving a fuck. Okay. But we get to go to like some really cool events. And not that table tennis isn't cool. That sounded like an insult. If you're an Olympian, you're incredible. But yeah, so we were just talking today. We're actually getting lunch tomorrow before my hair appointment because we're trying to plan our outfits. Because it's like, what the fuck does one wear to the Olympic Games? Like, oh, it's kind of a lot of pressure. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. So we'll have to do a little podcast recap of my Olympic experience because I'm sure there's gonna be so much behind the scenes, especially doing it with a brand that people don't talk about. So I think it'll be really fun. Okay, one last thing because you guys, I'm not fully caught up, but I have caved to everyone's obsession, which is Love Island USA, the current season on Peacock. What the fuck? That show is wild. Fucking wild, bitch. Like every day. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm at the part where Casa Amor has happened, and the episode I'm on now is like they're gonna choose if they take someone home or not. And I just feel like some of those guys like made so many nasty decisions and it made me so sad. Like Kaylor, oh my God, Kaylor, I will defend till the day I die. She's so sweet. And I think Aaron was being a fucking horn dog, and I hate that. I also love Leah. I don't, she gets, or Leia, fuck, I'm gonna be butchering that, but she gets so much hate. And I really don't mind her. I feel like she is honest and blunt, and that intimidates people. But hey, they're here for one thing, and they're trying to stay on the island, okay? So they're doing what they gotta do. But who else? Okay, so the Serena and Cordell thing, I think she was so flip-floppy with him, and he was so consistent in his feelings for her, but now she's grown on me. Like, I've grown to like her because she seems just like a slow grower when it comes to love and attachment, which is fine because I always forget. I'm like, "Oh, you've been there for like 5 days." Like they were there for they've been there for such a short amount of time. And so I think it took her a while to kind of like grow into that attachment with Cordell, but I love that she's there now, and that even when other guys have come in and out of the house, that she will talk to him and give them their time of day, or give them her time of day, but then she always goes back to him. But now he's at Casa Amor and his eyes are elsewhere. So I don't know what the fuck's going on. So my plan after this is probably going to be watching it and then eating a Krispy Kreme donut because we have leftovers from after dinner. Anywho says, I love you all. I'm gonna last like 3 more minutes awake because I'm so tired. But I'm so excited for you to hear all the episodes we recorded in LA. There's so many good ones, so much good info, and we also have some really exciting ones coming up that you're not ready for. So, anywho says, Rare Beauty, I love you. Thank you for having us in LA this week. It was so much fun, and I love all of you. Cheers.